Hi guys, this is a tutorial on modifiers. Modifiers are really cool bits of sort of equipment that enable us to modify an object in the modeling process in a different way than the transformation tools allow us. So they've got very useful features. Okay, first of all, we're going to have a look at how to add a modifier. We select an object. So what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to turn this full sphere into half a sphere without having a hollow bottom, so that I can basically use it as a foot on one of the characters. So modifier, and we're going to use a Boolean. Now, it hasn't actually done anything to it. What I need to do is I need to choose an object that is going to be like a reference to intersect it, almost like a rubber. And I've created a cube here that's the same size as it. So I'm going to choose the cube. And what that's actually done is it's made it disappear. Now, if I go on difference, it does pretty much the same thing as if I'd have left it as intersect, but you'll see what it does in a second. If I move the sphere over to the cube, make sure it's all embedded. I think the cube's not quite big enough, so click back on there. That looks like sort of half of the circle at the minute. So all I need to do now is click apply, and when I move the sphere away, you'll notice that the cube has now deleted sort of half of this, and I can get rid of the cube and I've got sort of like a foot. So that's what it does. I can just go into the rotate thing, saying that's the x-axis, so we'll rotate it 90 degrees and we've got a nice sort of foot shape now. We could even go in, sort of draw it out a little bit, and even go into edit mode now and start sort of building sort of the heel section and all that good stuff. Okay, file, new. The next modifier we're going to look at by coming over to modifiers is a bevel. And if I click bevel, it's quite simply, it bevels the edges off of something. It takes the sharp edges off of them. Why that's quite nice is, well, if you want to start making things like ammo crates, you could start doing that with this. It's dead easy. Before we click apply, we can just alter the width of the bevel, how many segments it's got. So the more segments it's got, the rounder the corner will be, but please remember this is a video game. If we go over to smooth over here, it will smooth out regardless of the quantity that we've got once we get past a certain extent. So I certainly wouldn't put any more than sort of 3 segments if I wanted a nice sort of round edge on there. All we do is click apply, and now it's permanently got these settings sort of added to it. The final thing we're going to look at, so I'm going to click to start again, is a mirror modifier. A mirror modifier is an essential piece of equipment if you want to have a symmetrically made object. Now what I mean by that is, if this was going to be turned into an aeroplane, it is symmetrical down the middle. The wing on this side has got a mirror opposite on this side, and sometimes it's very difficult to do that if we're doing it manually, or if we were creating a person, for example. So what we're going to do for the box is we're going to add a mirror modifier. Okay, doesn't really do much as it is until we go into edit mode. We're going to surface select, and we need to pick an axis. So I've picked the x-axis. Now if I press E to extrude this side, you'll notice that it isn't actually doing anything because we're mirroring along our x-axis. If I select this side and extrude it, you'll notice that what it's actually doing, look at the x-axis, it is a line that goes perfectly down here. It is mirroring it. Now if I choose the y-axis, that would do the y-axis as well. But why this is good now is if I wanted to turn this, for example, let's make, I don't know, like a small wing section. If I wanted to start doing that, then we could very easily turn this into, I know this doesn't look particularly great at the moment, but by just selecting one side, we're creating a mirror opposite on this side. So by selecting one side, it's doing everything for us sort of that we want it to do. So that doesn't look like an amazing aircraft or spacecraft, let's say. However, what it does look is pretty much symmetrical, which is exactly what we want it to be. So all I wanted to show you was those few tips. Potentially, this has got an awesomeness factor of 6,385,347 because of what you can do with it. It's going to make your life loads easier when we're modelling stuff. See you later.